When a customer tried it. A couple of years ago, I had a client order a cake for her son's birthday. A week and a half before the party, I get an email from PayPal stating that this client disputed the transaction. I'm confused because she and I hadn't had any conversation.
Shout out to the nation. It's your girl, Deanna Diaz, aka your business bestie. I'm just excited to be taking this entrepreneurial journey with you all. So here we are. Okay. So it's November. It's the 18th on my end, and it's Monday. So happy Monday, everybody. I came across the story on Facebook, which I thought was interesting, because it talks about what a lot of people dread, and it's the chargeback. It's the chargeback to where a customer or a client, they purchase something off of you, whether it be a product or a service, and they turn around and call their financial institution and do a chargeback. And you're like, what the hell going on around here? I've actually had that happen to me. Um, I'll talk about that later, but I want to go ahead and get into the story. So let me go ahead and share my screen. We're going to go ahead and talk about this right here. Hopefully it can be seen. All right.
When a customer tried it. A couple of years ago, I had a client order a cake for her son's birthday. A week and a half before the party, I get an email from PayPal stating that this client disputed the transaction. I'm confused because she and I hadn't had any conversation. So I reached out to her. Girl, did you not want this cake? Because PayPal just sent me an email that you disputed it. She's acting all clueless. I didn't dispute anything. I don't know what you're talking about. Let me check my emails. I submitted my contract and documentation to PayPal and thinking it was handled. 2 days later, they ended up taking the money out of the account while it's under investigation. I'm so frustrated. So I reached out to her and I let her know what's going on. She's like, yeah, I reached out to PayPal. They said they're going to give me my money back. It's just under investigation. So I don't know what's going on. The night before the party, do you know she texted me and asked me what time she could pick the cake up? I'm confused because I said, girl, you disputed the transaction. She's like, yeah, but I haven't gotten any money back. So technically, I haven't received the refund. So I still should get my cake. Now, y'all know I did not make the cake, but I know some of y'all going to say I'm wrong because technically she hadn't received the refund. So I'm curious what y'all think. Should I have made the cake? She talking about I'll just send the money back if they give it to me.
All right. So if she was talking too fast, let me just break it down for you. So what happened was, she's a baker and she was commissioned to do this cake for whatever reason. So she must have sent the invoice via PayPal, and the lady did pay the invoice. Okay. Later on during the processing time, the customer went and did a chargeback. Chargeback meaning she called her bank and say, hey, this is fraud, or I didn't get my stuff, XYZ, blah, blah, blah. So what the bank did, they gave them a provisional credit. A provisional credit is something that the bank gives you money for until they can prove whether that transaction was fraud or not. So it doesn't mean that that customer necessarily got that money back just then and there. It could have been contingent upon a couple of things. Um, Now, if the bank did an investigation with PayPal, normally PayPal does an investigation and they figure out whether the transaction happened or not. So I'm gonna give my opinion on this. Was the customer wrong? Absolutely. It was absolutely wrong for the customer to do that chargeback. Okay. Even if they said that their account was fraud, or say if their account got hit with something, right? So somebody that actually frauded their account took money out. The bank is going to ask you if this charge is yours, if this charge is yours, if this charge is yours, if this charge is yours. And you can either say yes or no. If that happened that way, then she could have said, oh yes, I did make that charge. That's for XYZ reason. That's me. Or whatever. And they would have left it there. Now, and then another thing is she could have just called and say, hey, I didn't get this. Goods wasn't received or services weren't rendered and I need my money back. And she could have did the chargeback that way. So I definitely feel like the customer was in the wrong, especially to still be asking for the cake. Where's the cake at? Okay. So that's just my 2 cents. However, I did reach out to PayPal and use their chat system to get some information. And I wanted to share that with you all, what they said, and you may find it a little interesting. Let me go ahead and pull it up. So here we are. My company is called the Recent Industries LLC. Um, If you want to know more about that, just click the link in the description bar below. All right, so you got to go through all these prompts so it can answer you properly, right? So, but I got a chance to ask this question, something about chargebacks. And then I said, what if a customer does a chargeback and still expects the item to be delivered? Now, this is directly from PayPal. If a customer initiates a chargeback on PayPal but still expects the item to be delivered, the first step would be to contact the seller and try to work things out. If that fails, the customer can open a dispute for an item significantly different from what was described. This can be done within the correct dispute filing timeframe. If the item is not received, the customer can escalate the case to a claim. PayPal will then investigate the case, and if a satisfactory resolution with the seller is not found, PayPal will refund the money. If the item arrives late after receiving a refund, the customer should work with the seller to return it or pay for it again. I rephrased the question. I said, the customer places the order with the seller for an item. Then, during the item processing, the customer does a chargeback but still wants the item, trying to get it for free. And PayPal responded with this. If a customer initiates a chargeback on PayPal for an item they ordered but still expects the item to be delivered, the seller should respond promptly with all tracking details, including shipping company, shipping label, and signature received. If the item is tangible, the seller should also provide an itemized list of things on the invoice. If the item is intangible, the seller should provide any compelling evidence that proves the buyer and PayPal that the item was delivered, used, pro- used, pro- used provided, or that services was completed. The evidence must be tied to the PayPal customer, such as an invoice ID. Any items and conditions that apply to the purchase in which the seller relies on should be provided to PayPal, and PayPal should be informed on how the customer agreed to these terms and conditions. If the seller has any other relevant details related to the transaction, they should also provide those. So intangible means something like a digital product, okay? But in this case, it was a physical product. So basically, what that is saying, like it's saying that the customer can't do a chargeback, period. Point blank, the customer can't do a chargeback. So to protect yourself, CYA, what you should do in this instance, if you're doing business via PayPal and you are doing an invoice, what I would suggest and what PayPal said, deliver the product, have proof that the product was delivered, make an itemized invoice, proof that the invoice was paid, okay, and proof that the customer did receive an item, the item that they bought from you. So if it is something physical, make sure that you send signature confirmation. And I'm going to look up for you what signature confirmation is with USPS. So we have these things called signature confirmation. And I only thought about that because I'm in the postal world on the military side, right? Interesting stuff. Gets on my nerves, to be honest with you. So, all right. So let me show you what a signature confirmation looks like. It's going to look something. You want to fill out this form right here, this pink form. So this is saying that that person cannot pick this up. They're going to have to come to the post office, which closest to their residence or wherever they got it mailed. Signature confirmation that they signed for. It's going to be this pink slip right here. If you do a delivery confirmation, I don't even know if they still do this anymore, but you can also do a delivery confirmation, and they'll have to sign for it and pick it up. That proves that the customer has received the item. And as long as you have all that there, like I said, the itemized invoice, proof that it was paid, proof that it was delivered, proof that the customer received it, then when you present all that information, to PayPal. PayPal's going to take all that and send it to their financial institution, and they'll say, well, our client or our end did their part. Here's the proof. And even though all of that painstaking process that you went through, you will not get the money taken out of your account because of that. And if you have to go through all that with somebody, I highly suggest that you ban them from your business. You do not need that stress in your life. It's already stressful enough being an entrepreneur. So, yes. However, I do want to add this. In this case, if you are making a physical transaction with an item or good, I would make sure I would get a form. I would create a form that the customer can sign that says, yes, I have received this item, and it is to my satisfaction. Take a picture of the customer with the product and all that good stuff. So you can use all of that to make sure that PayPal knows and that their financial institution knows that you held up your end, so your money will not get held up and you'll get your money that you're owed. You'll get the value that you're worth. So in that case, that is what you do. I know a lot of people like to do cash. I personally don't like dealing with cash. I'm okay with the risk because, I take a little bit more time to see what's all involved. And like I said, I've only had two chargebacks two chargebacks happened to me, and that was years ago, because you live and you learn. So let me know what you think about this situation down here. Let me know if you learned anything about protecting yourself when it comes to PayPal investigations and seller protection. I know they have changed a lot since its conception, especially within the last 10 years. So, and you read all of that stuff came straight from PayPal. You saw that. All right. So make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Share this video, subscribe, and I hope to see you in the next video. And it's still November. So make sure you check out my Black Friday Success free webinar. And if you're feeling froggy and you really want to get to it, make sure you download my Black Friday Success workbook. It comes with the content calendar, comes with some email sequences, all that good stuff. So make sure you check that out, and I will see you on the next video. Until next time, D Nation, I love you and God bless.